Since time immemorial, trade has been the pulse that beats at the heart of our civilizations. From the ancient Silk Road routes that connected the East with the West, to the merchant fleets that crossed oceans, to the modern ports and free zones we see today, humanity has always sought ways to exchange, collaborate, and prosper together. But just as trade has evolved, so have the rules that govern it. These rules not only determine how business is conducted, but they also reflect the politics, culture, and aspirations of an era. And among these norms, there's one that stands out for its influence and legacy in the modern world, the GATT. Today, at In Solidum Lawyers, we will delve into this monumental agreement, revealing its origin, impact, and relevance in the intricate world of international trade. Join us in this journey through time and discover how GATT has shaped and continues to influence the landscape of world trade. The GATT, formerly known as the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, is not just a set of rules or a historical document. It is the embodiment of a shared desire by nations from different continents, cultures, and economies to create a world where trade flows with greater freedom, fairness, and predictability. Born from the ashes of World War II, in 1947, GATT aimed to learn from the past mistakes. History taught us that protectionism and trade barriers not only hinder economic growth, but could also fuel political tensions. Hence, this agreement represented a renewed vision, a world where trade will be a tool for cooperation and not for conflict. To fully understand the impetus behind GATT, we must step back in time. Imagine a world that just experienced one of the most destructive wars in history. Nations were in ruins, economies shattered, and deep mistrust lingered in the air. In this backdrop, world leaders recognized a fundamental truth. Lasting peace required not only the absence of armed conflict, but also the creation of strong, mutually beneficial economic ties between countries. Before the war, the world had witnessed how protectionist and isolationist trade policies bred friction and economic imbalances. High tariffs, restricted quotas, and wider trade barriers not only strangled trade but also fostered resentment and political tensions. Nations understood that to avoid repeating past mistakes and ensure a more stable future, they needed a framework for promoting economic cooperation. Thus, GATT was born not just as a treaty but as a collective promise to build a world where trade will serve as a bridge and not as a barrier. A world where the rules of the game will be clear, fair, and applied equally, ensuring all nations, big or small, could benefit from global exchange. Essentially, GATT represented renewed hope, a vision for a more collaborative and prosperous future for all. When we discuss the GATT, we are talking about a non-presentative transformation in how nations could conduct business with one another. Before its inception, international trade was riddled with prohibitive tariffs and barriers that hindered efficient exchange. As the GATT began to take effect, we saw a series of tangible changes. First, there was a drastic reduction in tariffs, leading in a surge in trade volume, but its impact didn't stop there. With the removal of barriers, companies could tap into new markets with a spur competition, and with competition comes innovation. This new trading environment also played a crucial role in the development of emerging nations. By integrating into the global trading system, these countries could diversify their economies, attract investments, and most importantly, elevate the living standards of their citizens. While it's true that the GATT wasn't the sole factor, it was certainly a pivotal piece in accelerating this global progress. In short, the GATT didn't just reform trade rules, it changed the way we view and participate in the global economy, turning trade into a tool for development, prosperity, and mutual understanding among nations. To understand this monumental shift, we need to take a step back in time. The GATT, in its essence, was a provisional agreement, a temporary solution while a permanent international trading organization was sought. Over the decades, the GATT underwent multiple rounds of negotiations, and with each round, the agreement became more intricate, encompassing new subjects and confronting new challenges. It was during the Uruguay round, which commenced in 1986, that the creation of an organization better equipped to address the shifting realities of global trade was debated. And so, after nearly half a century of the GATT's existence, in 1995 the World Trade Organization was born. This new entity not only inherited the GATT's structure and principles, but also expanded to tackle areas previously not covered, such as trade in services through the General Agreement on Trade in Services (GATS) and intellectual property rights through the Agreement on Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights (TRIPS). This evolution marked a new era in global trade governance. The WTO, with its broader focus and more formalized structure, was now better poised to navigate the intricacies of 21st century trade, ensuring trade rules evolve with the needs and aspirations of its members. Venturing into the realm of foreign trade law, we find that many of the norms, principles, and frameworks governing global trade have their roots in the GATT. The GATT was a bold attempt by nations to stabilize and liberalize trade at a time when the world needed a new order. It introduced essential concepts like the most favored nation and national treatment, principles that remain foundational in crafting and negotiating trade agreements today. For professionals in foreign trade law, the GATT is more than a historical document. It's a guide, a touchstone. By understanding its principles and evolution, legal experts can more accurately navigate the maze of contemporary treaties and agreements. Moreover, many of today's trade debates and litigations trace back to interpretations and applications of the GATT. In short, to be well equipped in the field of foreign trade law, a profound understanding of the GATT is essential. It not only offers insight into where we come from, but also illuminates the path ahead in an ever-evolving trade world. Since ancient times, trade has been the bridge between civilizations, transcending border and connecting humanity in an interdependent web of exchange and growth. The GATT is a testament to that interconnectedness, a collective effort of nations to embed rules, fairness, and collaboration into the fabric of global trade. While it has given way to modern structures like the WTO, its spirit and ideals continue to echo in every transaction, every treaty, and every trade interaction we witness today. At In Solidum Lawyers, we see beyond the printed letter in treaties. We grasp the essence of what these agreements represent: opportunities, justice, and a shared vision for a more prosperous world. We are here to unravel, interpret, and most importantly, empower our clients in this captivating realm of international trade. We appreciate your interest and time. This is just one of many topics we are passionate about and wish to share with you. Stay tuned and dive with us into further legal explorations. Until next time.